Hi everyone, Lisa Long here. This is the organization that I chose to work on for my semester-long final project. It's called 45 Degrees, and as you can see, they do executive coaching. This is their original site. While the blue is traditional and feels solid and safe and secure, when redesigning the site, I chose to move towards a color palette that also has that security through the depth of the black, but also brings on a brighter color, a teal, that has a potential of being in the blue family, but also evokes a feeling of forward movement, of progression. As well as changing the color palette of the site, I also addressed 45 Degrees logo. As you can see in the upper left-hand corner of the screen, the logo is now a simple 45 with a circle, and the red dot is on the 45-degree angle. I think it's a nice, clean logo that could be used across all platforms. On the front page, there's an immediate call to action of playing a video. The current site has several videos that could absolutely be implemented in the new site. As well, we begin to see red popping as another color that dominates the site. It's our accent color and also our call to action color. Two of the major areas that 45 Degrees focuses on is individual coaching and trainings. While both of these topics are addressed in the main navigation bar at the top of the site, it's important to include them within the site as well. What's interesting is that the International Coach Federation, also known as ICF, in 2014 hired PricewaterhouseCoopers to survey people about coaching and why they choose to get coached in the workplace. And 42% seek coaching to optimize either individual or team performance. So again, it's important to re-highlight these right on the front page. Call to action buttons are bright and do lead to the individual pages, which I'll show in a minute. To increase confidence in 45 Degrees, testimonials are loud and clear here on the front page. This is a slider that will have multiple testimonials. As we continue to scroll, this area is the blog. Rather than call it a blog or news, it's really a revelation of your best self and tips. And each of these, again, will lead towards the blog. This is the fat footer coming up. Again, strong black background helps anchor and provide solidity to the page with the pops of teal and white. I opted for a very simple single line form. Studies have shown that if you're trying to increase your list, particularly by asking for a sign up for a newsletter on a website, it's really helpful to keep it super simple, just down to a first name and an email address. And as your relationship fortifies with users, you can then ask for additional information. At the bottom of the site are terms and conditions as well as a social media icon. It appears that at this time 45 Degrees is primarily focused on its Facebook presence. Moving on to the next page, it's coaching, and at the top of the page you can see immediately what pops up is a very high contrast billboard and an immediate call to action. Researchers also discovered that users love bulleted lists. It allows the user to quickly scan information, and it's a wonderful way to explain a little bit more in quick bite-sized pieces about 45 Degrees, 90 days of coaching. Immediately, there's another call to action button, bright, popping, and then our fat footer. The trainings page, again, billboard appearance, and includes another wonderful video from 45 Degrees on their group trainings. And here lists the upcoming trainings. So a user could click on any one of these bright red buttons as call to actions. And again, the fat footer. As a user clicks on one of these call to actions for learn more, they'll be directed to one of these pages, which is for the specific training, the individual training that's being offered. Once again, a very powerful and pronounced call to action button. There was some more research conducted between Syracuse University and a university in Korea, studying the size of button placement, not only the size, but also the placement of the button. And so size does matter. So the larger the button, the more likely someone is to strike it. And as we scroll down, here's the additional content about the training offering. And again, another call to action followed by the fat footer. About Us, once again, has the billboard effect, an immediate call to action of meet our team, which takes us on a continuous scroll to the same page. As we go past that continuous scroll, we'll be able to see the awesome testimonials that continue to help create confidence and help build users' interest in 45 Degrees. Brief bios help users get familiar with the training team and the coaches, yet not be overwhelmed. The blog, once again, has a very straightforward billboard and very cleanly laid out with images to the left, words to the right, and the strong red pop of call to action to read more. Always trying to encourage a user to go further into a site and spend more time. There are statistics that say, the more time a user spends on a site, the more likely they are to engage in an action that may result in some sort of sale or deeper connection. So this click of Blog Archive allows the user to go further into the site. On the individual blog page, in the main billboard area is the title. Interesting, again, interesting research of how to pull individuals into a blog. There are lots of tips. One of them is to increase the font size of the first paragraph and to keep it rather short. So you can see the first paragraph is 2 sentences and the font size is quite large. Other ideas include using images as well as numbered lists or bulleted lists. You can see in this example we chose numbered lists. Another way to retain a user and encourage them to spend more time on the site, which again creates the relationship with 45 Degrees, is to offer additional blog connections on the same page. So while this blog post was about clarity, what we would encourage doing is to have additional ways to get clear that lead to each of those hyperlinks leads to another blog post on a similar topic. Finally, Contact Us is our last page. Now, while we've seen it as the fat footer on every page, we know that users sometimes want to quickly be able to contact an organization and often look for it in the upper right corner or as the last item on a nav. So for fulfilling that, we've included a Contact Us page. It does contain the same information. Thanks for listening, everybody.